yet.
Let's go.
All right. Okay, let's go. Welcome back to the Founders of Korea again. And as you well know by right now, we are moments away from the graduation. We only have one more session left, which is the equity and funding that we are inviting global investors to do. Um, so in the beginning, I was all telling, right, it's going to be a challenging journey, and it is, and it was a challenging journey, and everything also comes on the top of your trainings and the programs that you have it there, and things that we provided is mostly for pushes you forward to do get out the room and then grab some client, make some score, right? So that was pretty challenging, everything on the top. I know it last 6 months on this program, but it started to pays off. I know some many of you has some great um, traction and then improvements going on as the pretty early stage startups, right? How we know is from the reports that we do together, right? So I mean, so congratulations to making this much and this far actually.
And I think a lot of the pitches has definitely improved. I'm lucky enough to where I think you guys see it every week, but I see it maybe once a month,
Right.
and I see the
Oh,
gaps every month and how it gets much smoother. So a
exactly.
really good job to the both the founders and the Founder Institute team.
Oh my God.
I also want to give the great credit to your one-to-one mentoring session. I think a founder say the good things that about your coach. It's a really great decisions that we make it like kind of recite a mentor to you. And plus, we are going to say in the last couple slides, which is we are also thinking to arrange in the remaining session because most of the global mentors, they didn't have a chance to have a one-to-one meeting. So we are thinking to arrange with your demand again, like things too. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the shout out, Tyson. And without the mentor support, it wouldn't be possible. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, all your support to our founders. So so a couple notes, which is the final demo day will be held at November 16 at GSA. By the way, meanwhile, there is going to be a quite big event at this GSA, the same building. It's not in the notes. I'm inviting all of you to this event. I will be a keynote speaker there and arranging some speakers there. Um, Basically, it's going to be about how to go global, go from born global. The topic is the born global, run by the GSA itself under the conference hall in the second floor, the Marble headquarters. Our building. So things are like getting heated up. A lot of events, a lot of conferences, but keep focusing on and if joining these kind of things that we suggest. But I mean, do within an action plan again, strategy. And I really like this kind of event. Actually, I get to work with, meet together with like 30, 40 people rapidly in a day. Take a chance and please join. And also demo day. A couple notes on that. You have to nail down your pitch in order to join and then pitch in this event. We will see you all together. We will make officers with all mentors and to nail down. I suggest you to be pitching in front of a mirror or in front of by recording yourself like 100 times, no exaggeration. So you're gonna be on the stage. We will record this and we will send to all our network, right? Um, you will you might there is a high possibility you will get something out of this, which is the like, an investment opportunity, yeah, that kind of things. All right. So anyway, today's topic is the marketing and growth, which is one of my favorite topics and something that is our highest priority actually for F5 and Open for Co. I mean our company as well, because we would like to grow. Yeah, is there anyone that has that who doesn't want to grow, who doesn't want more client, more money? I don't think so, right? Nobody say no to that kind of thing. So that's high priority for us. I always have a room to grow, even though with this medical condition. So if you bring me a customer, I wouldn't say no. So that's why it's very important. Marketing, branding, growth, all stuff, right? So speaking about the growth, we have Tyson Batino today, who is a 3X entrepreneur. You all know him, with a ton of hands-on experience on today's topic. So also, since it's a small cohort and small room today, and we have only one mentor today, that we can maximize the usage time of that to help you out with the questions that you have. So we can utilize this one also Q&A, like fireside chat style thing. It is 2 hours. So we will also prioritize your questions. Please come with questions,
Yeah.
you would probably have some questions.
And
So anyway,
on the topic of marketing growth, you might find this funny, but actually my biggest pain point this week is that for my marketing agency, I've gotten so many leads that my team can't fulfill, that I've had to give all my leads away.
can you give it to me, Tyson? We will handle. We will figure out.
Yes. I think I've gotten six leads. Each of them were like $3,000 contracts a month. And
Wow.
like my marketing partner, like he can't, so I either have to find a new marketing partner or I just create a referral business.
Tyson, let's talk.
Yeah.
Open for call can help.
So it's
Can help.
very
Seriously.
sad this week, but for good reasons.
We
And I'm very
can
sure
never.
I'm very sure a lot of founders would love to hear how you're actually generating the leads. Maybe you can share that later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Tyson, let's jump on a call. Seriously.
Okay.
All right, today's agenda is like this. You guys know. Okay. A big shout out to our lovely team, Alex and Eugene. As always, like without your support, this wouldn't be possible. Really appreciate it. You guys, the one who's providing a lot of hands-on support and going to office and providing meeting with our team and held in office hours and providing a lot of support at the backstage. Really appreciate to you guys. And as you guys know, we're all startup funders, so we can help you guys, right? And all right, so these are the topics you guys know. So how to define the success of your business, what are the various tactics that you grow the business, how to set up the growth goals and growth milestones. You should have milestones that at this point shouldn't be far-fetched in the long term, but actionable. How to follow up and track your goals and milestones, yada, and communicate to your growth processes, setbacks, and what media platforms you should use, what social media platforms you should use, and stuff. So we're gonna all talking about that kind of things, all right? So Tyson, they all know you. Maybe you can give us some intro about, but more about marketing angle this time.
So it's so yes, I've created 3 companies, OneCoin English, Japan Switch. Say Japan Switch now has 500 or 600 students. So it's doubled in that 1 year since I joined Founder Institute. And yet scaling your company right now, which is I would say it's consulting plus digital marketing services. So in terms of digital marketing, I do have B2C experience with my language schools. My biggest achievement was I scaled the Japanese language school to $40,000 MRR in 1 year, only using Facebook ads as a morning only, beginner only, in-person Japanese school. Which that's like insane levels. Like that's like 5% of the market, I think 5-10% of the market. But I found a way to do viral marketing using Facebook ads. For scaling your company, I now do B2B marketing. So I've experience doing a podcast, YouTube a little bit, and Google search and LinkedIn. So I do have a mixture of B2B and B2C, but also I think for growth, it's I think a key part of growth which I hope I have time, is I think the business model is part of the growth strategy as well. So what I mean by that is most consulting agencies, they charge you a lot of money upfront. For my agency, we charge you very little upfront. We get you success. And with that profits, you pay us more money. You expand our services. So in terms of getting deal flow and getting in, I think we can get client contracts much faster. And so for my marketing agency, we've done 4 websites in 4 months, and all of them is just existing clients. And I have probably 3 more existing clients who want a website because they've seen or I'll explain the curve later.
So you
But-
upsell, right?
Yeah, that was I think that was the innovative way. I changed consulting to monthly subscription, but kind of low cost, and it can expand in various ways. Where the money I can get from referrals or just up now, that's why I created the digital marketing service, is because I talk to my clients and like they're like, your advice is great, but we can't implement it. Like our staff doesn't have the skills to do it.
Yeah.
So we need your help to implement it. So that's yeah, the kind of
Pretty good.
but also with my marketing experience, I've had a lot of success with recruitment for OneCoin English. Like we've hired probably 1,000 teachers with only spending $500, which was for a website and server.
Cool. Wow.
So like so those are my 2 grand where most of our competitors spend probably $3,000 a month
Yeah, it's amazing.
for premium ads. Ours
that-
is just yep.
Huge
And for
market.
SEO, OneCoin English gets 250,000 visitors a month. Japan Twitch plus BFF Tokyo combined gets 60,000. And at least for scaling your company, I just get 600 organic. But right now I'm getting about 6 inquiries a month, and probably half of them are for let's say $1 million plus revenue corporations.
Right.
Cool, but I can talk more about that later. But so I know how to do B2C, but I also have experience doing B2B.
It's amazing. One thing that also I see that very important. You're doing amazing job on that, which is your personal brand also. So we often advise to the funders here in Japan, I mean, and Korea and Japan, to pay attention to their personal brand. I mean, at least posting and being active on LinkedIn level. Maybe you can also give some insights.
Yeah,
on that.
I can explain that. So with so I have OneCoin English in Japan, which is actually one company. It's just Japan Switch is the subsidiary. But the CEO of OneCoin English, my co-founder, he actually created 3 multi-million-dollar businesses before we partnered. So and he's an advisor to the Japanese government for small to medium businesses.
Yeah.
And the government actually copied his business, and he won he actually did kind of a suit against the government for copying his business, and he won the suit.
Yeah.
Against JICA, I think, which is the Japan overseas one. But anyhow, so I got to work with kind of a celebrity CEO. He's well known nationally. Sometimes when I meet people, like, oh yeah, I know your company. It's like, isn't it his company? It's like, actually, it's our company.
Who is you're talking about?
My co-founder's a Japanese guy.
What was his name?
His name is Yuki Kojima. But if you look at our website for OneCoin English and you see the news, well, you see the national TV news appearances or Nikkei appearances, it's never me, it's always him. So so I want to give that background story. It's in my previous company, the CEO, he got all the PR while I did all the work a lot of the work internally. A lot of the operations, the day-to-day. And so that comment resonates. It's like when I meet people and I say, oh, OneCoin English, they're like, oh, it's his company. And it's like, actually, it's our company. because I'm actually a co-founder. So that's where my origin stories of the importance of PR and personal branding was. I worked so hard on my startup. I mean, I work and I'll hopefully get my exit in 2 to 3 years or 3 years, but no one knowed my name, and that was like a big pain point for me. And then the second part was my wife's family health emergency. I moved to Hokkaido with her from Tokyo. So like I'm not where everyone is now. So that made me think, how can I network and so everyone knows me, or no one knows me now, even though everyone knows, a lot of people know my company, and I'm in Hokkaido and I can't network and meet people. So what can I do? So that's where I came up with the idea of where I was all in and making a podcast. I can't go to networking events. I don't know enough people where they'll just spread word of mouth about me. And so my only choice is to be everywhere on the internet.
And we would love to see the link. Maybe you can share right now before we forget it.
A link for
the podcast. Yes, I think
gotcha, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, for those who for the Japan market, I
Yeah.
think for startups.
And by the way, he also hosts us proudly. Maybe you can post this one so they can listen.
Oh yeah, this I should post one Erdink and Yuli.
oh, yeah, that he spoke a
So we
lot.
can get some downloads also for that one. How is our performance, by the way, guys?
I
And
think it's about 250 to 300.
Are we in the top 10?
No.
It's not top 10, unfortunately.
Oh,
Sorry, anything regarding investment
yeah.
is the ones that got it.
Let's do a next new one.
So maybe like I think partnerships would be a good topic. But I'm posting it here, but I think I got about 250, so that's about average.
Yeah.
But the ones on investment, especially pitch deck and how to understand an investor, were very
Okay.
popular.
I would like to add one thing here, which is on your personal branding. By the way, as you guys know that here we have a little bit relaxed format we are doing. We're gonna come to your pitches, by the way. You're going to pitch, by the way. Anyways, I just start with the conversation. No worries about that. Everything's under control. Time is also under control. So about your the point that you point out for the personal branding, which is being in everywhere in all over the internet, your the content creation. So actually, you figure out how to network without going there. I mean, everywhere is basically becoming more influencer. So you were already like active. I think we follow each other or we connect each other somehow. I used to see you before being like doing business together, being friends together. I see you in the internet.
I started becoming active after I stepped down as operations. So I'll say basically I stepped down as COO. Then I was COO plus CEO of the subsidiary, and I just changed to CEO of the subsidiary. And during that time, I had about 10 to 15 hours a week. So I did like LinkedIn. I posted on LinkedIn more.
You
And
were
I think
active when you
I started the podcast before we first met.
I see.
I just got started. But
So
one
you were
tip
active
that
as an operator before on the LinkedIn. So that is one advice I would like to give to all the founders here. You should be an active you don't have to be an influencer or an active content creator like him, but you should be active on LinkedIn, right? To all founders here. So you can grow your business. It might not look like in the beginning directly reflecting your business, but it's a very scalable way of making networking, just like Tyson did, you know? Yeah, just
yeah,
fun fact.
LinkedIn has been great. I think LinkedIn events used to be good, but LinkedIn newsletters I was able to grow my newsletter to about 1,200 businesses
Mm,
really easily using LinkedIn newsletters. The downside is I don't have their email address. LinkedIn owns it,
yeah.
but it's really easy to get people to sign up. And it's yeah, it's a pretty good growth strategy in the beginning, and I'm just gonna gradually change to
Yeah.
doing it on a separate one. And event as well on LinkedIn, it's really easy. Like pretty much every event I do, there's about 80 signups to 100 signups
Okay.
for LinkedIn
Okay.
events.
Just want to ask a quick question. Ken Oak, do you use LinkedIn often?
Yes, sometimes is actually is like I'm not
Not
frequent
that
with
much.
yeah, not that much.
You're on LinkedIn for sure. Okay. How
Yes,
about DK? Do you use LinkedIn often?
Me?
LinkedIn? Yeah.
Yeah. We have I have a LinkedIn account and my company also we
Okay. How
So for
about
LinkedIn,
Yonho is not that much. Yonho, are you here?
Actually, I didn't do it much, so I need to make some pages or something.
Okay. LinkedIn is
You,
important.
I think
Yeah.
your video is a little
Yeah,
bu-
I don't know
bu-
why.
buggy. Let's call it that way.
I love it.
It's unique. Yeah, it's unique.
It's the
Before
opposite.
to
Yeah,
the
so for LinkedIn, go ahead.
Yeah, before we jump into the announcement and pitch, I also want to highlight that what we did as a Founder Institute. For example, Founder Institute, we also do regular posts and then make engagement, whatever the big event or not. We both supposed to recruit our Founder Institute, the normal program, more than 100, because our target is the English target. So more than 100 applicants within just 2 months. Like that kind of things that our KPI achieve just linking. For example, Open for Dogo, we make a recruitment, right? Like hire within digital marketing. Within 2 weeks, we got there more than 65 from 5 countries applicant for the remote applicant. So having based on your target, the having properly communicating. We are not a professional either. We just do the minimum things that is necessary to be done. So it's really effective for us. We don't spend a single money on advertisement. It's
Yeah.
just really happening. Edith, I really like to jump into the announcement.
All right. Wait, let me do it. Okay, great. All right, so guys, we will jump into also the pitches, give some feedbacks. Then Tyson will give the mentoring session. Then Q&A, we will continue this conversation again. And yeah, I'm really enjoying with this conversation actually. If I would love to see all of you joining with the active questions and things, so we can make it like more engaging. Okay, so all right, so some announcements we have, which is the there is a the event event series that we have called Venture Trailblazers, that we invite the some of the most influential people in the world, literally, on venture capital or startup world. So famously, we welcome to people from the for example from Sequoia Capital, and some of the most influential people also out there too. This time we have we will be featuring Scott Plesky, famously known from the Adobe. And co-founder of Behance. Actually, he's well known as the co-founder of Behance. So currently Adobe bought them. I mean, acquire. So this is going to be at what for our time? 10 p.m. ish going to be, so it's very reasonable time zone. Time you can please join. It's pretty useful. You can also make networking also scalably across the world. All right, so we have also the Founder X coming up. It is returned in person finally. Last time was in online, so it will be at the in Resher Woods, basically near to the Silicon Valley down there. Basically, this is an in-person gathering exclusive to our network only. 300 people only can join, and our mentors very much welcome. You can fly over there. You can join for free, because you're on our network. So, all right. So this is going to be November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd on the Redwood.
Little bit pause
Uh-huh.
because you need to share the link because we was keep sharing from the chat. Yeah, okay, good. Founders, you can also check in the message too. We are also communicating through the Kakao chat either. Please
Yeah.
try this event. Yeah.
All right. In case that you don't know, this is really close to the SFO airport. And if you confuse so much because there's a lot of the very expensive place, let me know where you're gonna stay, what kind of Airbnb. You can ask anything to me. Okay, I know this area very well. So you can ask anything to me. So I highly recommend you join. So airplane tickets in this season not that much expensive. So you can stay in an Airbnb, you can budget. So take a chance. It's pretty good event. So consecutively, we also have the DeSile, which is the VCLP gathering event, going to have it. A ton of capital will flow into the second one, that the convention center at that day. So I recommend you can't enough to stuff we can recommend to this one. So we're gonna have the keynote speaker of the Ivan Goldberg and DRSE, which is DRSE is our the founder. All right, some important announcements. We did actually these done. All right, and okay, that's it. So we will jump into Yuli. Do you have anything to say? We will jump into the pitch deck.
That announcement, I really want to make sure that they are aware of it. So
Which one?
Important announcement, 2 announcement.
All right.
Yeah, I mean we are going to have a finance session. So we are trying to invite the global VC. So after that, demo day will come on the November 16th, not November 20. I make a mistake in the Kakao chat. Please take a note. And then in order to, because we also negotiated with our headquarter in order to arrange the matching with you with the VC for our top performance portfolio. But for that case, your 5-minute pitch must be ready. So please work on with us as much as possible. The before the next session, and then before the demo day either. I really want you guys shine on demo day in compared to the other accelerator portfolio. Okay, please work on it. Your brand is our brand. Your performance is going to be our performance. We also really like to have you. Can you go to the next one, Edith?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just want to say one thing. You guys, you really need to understand this something here. So we have a select portfolio pitch that we send all the investors around the world. So you can have a chance to get in there, but we are not promising you. Okay, you gotta be really good. Your pitch deck needs to be shine. And all right, so let's double down on these 2 weeks before the demo day. You can get in there, and this is globally distributed report. I just want to highlight it what you just said, right?
Okay, I think you have a chance a lot to have a one-to-one meeting with us in Tyson, but not as much as with the global mentor. With the remaining program time, we also want to match with you with the global mentor that who has done the session if you didn't have a chance to talk. So if you want to talk with somebody in there, please kindly apply from that form either. We also communicated from the chat. Based on your request, we are going to be request either. We will try our best. Sometimes might not be matched. That's all I want to say. Edith,
Thank you.
Go from here.
All right, that's it, right? All right, so pitches and the feedbacks. Who's gonna be first? Alex, can you take over from now to the pitch session? Can only rest.
Yes, sure. Okay. So I think before we start, let's take a selfie maybe. That's very important.
Yeah. Let's not
right?
forget. Okay. How
Take
is
a
my
selfie. Aaron's amazing.
Yeah.
Top today.
It's shiny like a diamond.
Oh,
It's glistening.
Let's take a quick selfie.
arigato. Yuli, remove your phone for 1 second. Smile.
Okay.
Right. I took a
Cool,
lot.
cool, cool. Cool. Okay, so we are going to start with the pitch session now. So we have our founders. As you know, obviously you've talked to them a lot, both in growth and launch track. Launch track meaning kind of pre-seed, very early stage, and then the growth track are the ones that have a little bit traction already. And I think since we don't have like a fixed agenda today, maybe we start with launch track. We could go ahead with who do we start? How about Ken?
Okay.
Yeah, Ken,
may I
Ken, let's start
start?
with you. Yes, please. You
Yeah.
can share your screen and then we can go ahead. And for you, Tyson, do you have access to the hot seat to the link to do the rating?
Thanks for sending that.
Yep. Give me a second. Ken,
I
please
think
wait.
I think
Okay.
that was the link.
Just wait a second. Mhm.
But I
Ken,
in
kindly-
30 seconds.
Kindly, I would like to say one thing to the Ken. Last time it was way over time. So I mean, even though it's a small room, we have and stuff, but we just want to be like exercise and then to be able to finish under the 5 minutes, because demo day they will just cut your media off, the mic off. So in order to not have that the strange condition, let's make it under the 5 minutes. You should set a timer for yourself, put it at your side, so you will be remember. Right?
Okay. So
Tyson,
I
I
have some.
am ready to go. I have the hot seat stuff ready
Okay.
and loaded.
Who
And
is
he
the
said,
host here? Who is the host?
I'm the host. I will make you
Can
host
you-
as well.
Can you mute Ken at the 5
After-
minutes?
Oh, Aaron, you are
Tough.
next level. Let's do that. Let's do
Sorry.
that. Okay.
So
Sorry,
it's
Ken.
going to be like this.
I'll mute you at 5 minutes. Okay.
Please.
This is next level today. Tyson, for you, have you found the KISSET program and then your name?
Yes, I am good to go.
perfect. Okay, then Ken, the stage is yours. Please share your screen.
Okay, so I'm ready.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. So let me introduce. And our item is like a multi-spectrum, is a optical technology based and FAST platform. The FAST, it means is like a forensic as a service as a business model. So we have defined some like problem issues in the banking and then the public sector. And then for a while is like at the banking side and the public side, and then they don't have the expertise and for the authentication. So that's why it's like we would like to suggest in the multi-spectrum and optical technology is like with visible and invisible, and then the optics imaging is by using of the optic imaging, and then we can authenticate and for the document. So currently is we are providing to the banking sector is like by the standalone product, and then with some others like makers. And then is like in public sector, in some public entities, like they have been provide some database system is like by the SaaS platform. We have some deep ID. This is like a full stack of the deep ID. Is we have some application, and then the software, the deep learning model is based built in the cloud system. And then is like to authenticate and invisible, and by the invisible is like imaging, is we are providing some optic product and then as some mobile and the desktop. This is like workflow, and then for the e-passport authentication is we are using is like a visible via is like our application is with is a visible imaging, and then by using of some hardware, and we could collect is like invisible images as well. So this is our core technology. Automatic authentication checking function is like by using of our database system and then the vision deep learning model, then is like it could authenticate like automatically. So we also is like have a service scenario is like by this is like is a Untact and the remote authentication platform is for example like between is a banking headquarters and then the branch office. So we also have some IP and then license and the copyrights, and then for this is a technology, and then some is a service model. So we have defined for the banking sector is like we by using of some is like our and the mobile is application is a mobile is a system. Then is it could be realizes some is like prompt authentication, and then the Untact and the remote and the authentication is a service platform. So this is also some for the public sector, and then we are adapting is like Untact and the remote and the service platform is for the authentication the document, the public document. So we have some tractions. First one is like we have selected this as a finalist is by the Japanese fintech and the association. Then is like we also is like have developing is like fintech is API, and then recently we are awarded is by the fintech and the blockchain is ESG is competition is as well. So we also is have a traction for the banking and then the public company, and then we also is have developing is like ODA, official development assistant project in Mongolia and in the like some emerging country, and also is like have some traction for the Ministry of Justice in Korea. So we are targeting for the global forensic market is actually is among is like as a growth is like Asia market ratio is like over is like 50%. Is we are targeting for those emerging countries. So this is like our potential competitor is like we have the strength is like for the digital function is in comparing to this other is a potential competitor. So we are targeting further is like anti-counterfeit and the platform, and then the remote is a diagnosis in the platform is like for the next year is like by using of some is like optics product. So this is like our strategy for the fintech, and this official is like a public project as well. So this is our expertise is we are our team is consists of the public and
Yeah, 5 minutes are over. I'm very sorry
gotcha.
for muting you, Ken.
I'm not sorry.
No, jeez.
Sorry, but not sorry.
So yes, Tyson, please take your time. You can shortly check on the platform, think about it, and then I will post quickly the rating into the chat, and we can go over it. Okay, let me know when you're ready.
Can you can you stop sharing screen?
Cool. Yes, I have
Okay, Tyson, if
nothing
you're ready,
to-
let's go ahead. Let's go.
all do it together.
Yep, okay. So we are going to start with rating the progress with product offering. You can give a rating as 1, 2, or 4, 5. Let's do a rating in 3, 2,
Oh, wait,
1.
actually, sorry,
please.
I just saw
No?
the 3
Okay.
points right now.
Okay,
Rate
okay.
progress with
Let's give it some time.
What
Think
are the,
about it.
can you also remind us the rating points? The rating topics, the progress or something.
Oh, yes. So rate progress, I send it into the chat. Rate progress with product offering, then rate skill of presentation, and the third one is rate completeness of model. So whenever you're ready, Tyson, let me know. We can go over it.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let's start again with rating the progress of the product offering. We rate that in 3, 2, 1. Please give your rating right now. Since you're the only mentor, okay, it's a 4. That's really good. That's like a huge improvement. Then we're going to rate the second thing, which is the skill of presentation in 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's a 2. And the third, we're going to rate, which is the completeness of the model. Please rate in 3, 2,
Or completeness of
1.
model would be a business model.
Yes, I assume so.
Okay, gotcha. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
3, 2, 1. Let's rate the model. It's a 2. Okay, wow, that's a big improvement, Ken. We have 4 and 2, 2 over the last ratings. Yeah, please, Tyson, if you want, add some feedback.
Tyson,
Yes.
Tyson, very quick point. So the completeness of model is kind of like, okay, the business model is one of the more important thing. Dots are connected or not. The question is the dots are connected or not. Is everything has become a whole or not? Sometimes the business become here and there and here and there, you know? So I also would like to give some ratings, but I mean, just because we have flexibility here, I will be giving the product offering 2, presentation 1. Sorry, Ken, really sorry. I really need to be harsh on that because we have very few time, like 2 weeks. It needs to be a crush, and I want you to be in the global the report that we have for that we will send the investors, right? And completeness of model is 2. So 2, 1, 2, I respectfully would like to give. Yep. Tyson, stage yours, sorry.
Thanks. For the rate progress with product offering, it's so I rated this on, sorry, so I did notice, I think there is progress with the product offering, meaning that you've talked to more customers, you have a better idea of what's in the market. But I understand, I can see why you also got 2 from Erding, in that by the end of this program, I think you haven't solidified, I think you have an idea of kind of, I think you focused on the banking one, but I still think you're unsure. So I think Erding scored, so I rated more just the fact that you made progress, but I think in terms of completing the goals of this program, I would say it's probably a 2. But compared to before, I think you're making you're having traction. You're talking to more customers. You're trying to figure out which vertical is right for you. For presentation, I gave a 2, and that was the main reason. I just gave it a 2 because I think as a sales pitch, it was okay, but for a pitch to investors, it's definitely a 1. There is a format for pitching to investors, and you have to follow it. And every time you haven't followed it, and so I would not introduce you to an investor just one-on-one because of your pitch, because it doesn't follow the format. And for investors, if a founder doesn't follow the standard format, it creates distrust, because maybe this person doesn't listen to feedback, is what I would think. Because the way to do a pitch, it's all over the internet. And there is no reason why a person should not understand it unless they don't listen to feedback. So, so I think that's an important point, and I think I should. It's I consider you a friend now, so I think I should mention it. But I think because of your
Is it only me or?
into 500 global. Oh,
No,
can you hear
no,
me?
it's yeah, a little lag.
And oh, can you hear me now?
Okay, now.
Yes.
So Ken, because of your pitch, I think you weren't accepted to 500 Global's the landing program. And another Founder Institute founder from the Korea program was accepted, whose pitch was more following the standard flow. So so I wanted to give you that feedback because I think because you didn't follow the Founder Institute format that they've been guiding you, you didn't get into the 500 Global Japan Accelerator. And from that 500 Global Accelerator, you would have gotten a lot of meetings with Japanese companies, but you lost your opportunity because you didn't listen to their feedback. So I think that's why Erdink is being very strong. And I wanted to give you a real life example of how it has impacted your business. Because yeah, the 500 Global, you would have gotten to meet, they would have taken you to Osaka government, Tokyo government, Aichi government directly. The number 2 of Aichi prefecture would have come and heard you pitch. Maybe even the governor, but the lieutenant governor always comes. So you lost out on a big opportunity because of this. So I think that's why if there is remaining time, I think sorry, I don't remember your name at the bottom right.
Sorry, Tyson, could you repeat that?
Right.
Oh, the connection is a
But
little
you're very
laggy.
good at can you hear me now?
Yes, better again.
Oh yeah. So Ken, my recommendation is if there is time for the Founder Institute, with Erdink, Yuli, and the Founder Institute Korea team. Sorry, it's is it better now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, it's my wife is using the microwave and it tends to fry the Wi-Fi connection. But
What? This is the craziest thing I've heard in a long time. Interesting.
it's happened so
This
many
is
times
so
that it
funny.
has to be the microwave.
The microwave's frying the internet connection. Hell yeah.
We do have an expensive microwave. It's like $1,000 microwave, so maybe that's
What?
why.
Oh, wow.
But,
We should review that in the next session.
All right. So we will give you more time, Tyson.
Is the microwave finished?
So no worries, we will give you more
Okay,
time. Meanwhile, Alex, would you like to give some feedback?
Oh, me. Actually very, very similar to Tyson. And I think the key point here is really that founders that, especially in the early stage, don't hold the format of the Founder Institute or the basic pitch are really, really at a huge disadvantage. So the first thing I would absolutely recommend you, the most important thing in your stage is really doing the pitch by standard. For sure, maybe sometimes the model is unique, maybe your business and startups are also different to others, but still, in my opinion, anything I've seen is possible to put into this format. So highly would suggest you to use the Founder Institute format that we send over to you in our one of the first sessions. Yeah, and this is really the only thing I can say at the moment, because the idea itself is super interesting, right? You have the technology, you have the people, and you're passionate for this, but I feel like just the pitch is the last thing kind of missing at the moment. So putting this into the right format will do miles and so much to the current.
And on that point, I made the introduction to 500 Global because I believed in you. and your idea.
Okay, I would like to also give quick feedbacks. Product offerings, still, let's go to basics. So we would like to hear that what I'm going to buy from this business. Doesn't matter how complex solution is this. So when I go to, if I go to the Salesforce, I know what I'm going to buy. It's actually a very complex organization and complex solutions that they have. If I go to the formerly known Pivotal Labs, I don't know, current name is changed. They changed. I know what kind of service that I'm going to buy, even though how complex solution they have. But I still don't know what I'm going to buy. I mean, any shop, any business that you go, there's let's just say that you go to the coffee shop, that they confuse you. We have the coffee in there. So that this is feels like that. I would like to have one or a couple of solutions or coffees that I see clearly, that I can see what is this going on easily as a consumer or as a decision maker in the business. So that's what the product offering means actually. I still don't know what I'm going to buy easily. I know if I deep look inside, maybe I can understand. This is why my honest feedback. Again, we want you to be successful. That's why we're giving it. And a presentation, as Tyson said, similarly, there is a common format that everyone follows, and then why not you follow? I know there are limitations, like time limitations, format limitations. Some people don't like it or something, but you can be creative inside of this this format. You can be creative and endlessly in this format. And why not Jin? Jin, would you can you please search on the YouTube some of the 5 minutes formats or in our network, provide him, maybe please see what is going on. I mean, in our you can see in your counterparts in this cohort how they are pitching for sure, but in the YouTube there are also good examples out there, so you can watch and inspire from these things. And lastly, the complete store model is basically means the connecting dots. Is this like feels a complete business, complete? So it still feels like a solution implementation consulting business. So it's like there is a consultant layer. You go to the client. I know you're getting traction from government and stuff. It feels like here and there some solutions that you have. So you putting things together and then providing these solutions as solution, the consultant layer on the top. That is, I respect that. That's a business. But what we are looking for is like this business can easily, smoothly go to the $100 million thing, because this is what VCs are looking for. So yeah, so this is something that can be smoothly scaled, smoothly or not. This is what we are looking for. A product, a one unique solution, one unique product that can be scaled. So we want to see that spark going on. Already there is a spark, but we don't know that can be go wildfire. So I mean, VC is looking for, VCs are kind of like a gasoline that you are the fire, so they put in the fire and it explodes over there. So this is what they're looking for. Yeah, okay, that's my feedback.
I love this metaphor. It's really nice. We need to light the fire first of all, otherwise there's no reason to put gasoline over it.
Dangerous metaphor.
No, but yeah, dangerous metaphor. Yeah.
And then let's wrap it up. So we have two more people, funders. Ken, this is what it is. So.
Okay, thanks for your comment. And then we are actually we have a Korean version slide, and by the standard or something at the moment. So I'm converting, and then from the Korean version to the English version. So I want to make it more simple. So since last previous in the mentoring, and then actually I agree, is like it doesn't need to be expanded, more contents, and then for the slides. So actually I'm very concentrating on the making what can I say, for the opening page, because our task is like a little bit difficult to approach it for the listener and the investor. So that's why it's like I want to be like some what can I say? It's like some code breaking page. So something like this. It's a more fancy, and then to be approached is like more easily, and then for the listener. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
So-
getting there. It's improving. You are getting there. Hopefully.
Okay.
Let's-
Follow the format.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I
That's-
will
that's-
keep- yeah.
Mhm. Okay, let's go to the next founder because we also need to manage the time. Ken, thank you so much that it's improving. This week, you're gonna be there. We have 2 weeks. Heads up. All right, Alex, who's the next one? Ken, we
So,
take a one-on-one office hour, by the way. Oh, you already booked me. Okay, all right, got it.
okay, I would say for the next one, we can get DK. If it's okay. And then afterwards, we're going to do Yongho. Big highlight. Okay. Let me adjust the spotlight. Okay, DK, 5 minutes. Yeah. You can start in 3, 2, 1. Please go ahead.
Glad to meet you. I'm Dongkyun Lee, CEO of DK MedInfo, nursing informatics startup. Let me introduce Smart Nurse ENR, a cloud-based electronic nursing education platform. Sorry. Okay. Our company is an education platform company targeting nursing school. Smart Nurse ENR is an electronic nursing record system, education service for students and new nurses. Large US hospital sites are almost entirely computerized. However, university education is still similar to where it was a decade ago, like paper records. Universities also want to be computerized, but struggle with cost and adoption issue. We built a solution that allows us to practice similarly to a hospital. It's cloud-based, installation-free, and available to anyone with an internet connection. It's customized for schools, so we focus on the features that are needed in the classroom. If you have a scenario or feature that your university wants, we can customize it for the university. We have a contract with the nursing school and must sell to the nursing professor. The contract is for the entire school, and the cost is based on the number of sophomore, junior, and senior students. This chart shows the state of the competition. Our service reflected the latest EHR, EMR, and are competitively priced. The price is $30 per nursing school student account. The nursing education market is growing every year. Nursing make up the most significant portion of the healthcare workforce. We are targeting the informatic education of new nurse and nursing student. And my company wants to expand its market by targeting English-speaking university. We also explore international market through contract with a nursing simulation hardware company. We want to process nursing record data collected through our service and apply it to generative AI. We are currently conducting R&D through our company R&D Institute. We plan to develop various software that can be utilized in nursing education. This school uses Smart Nurse ENR in the Korean nursing education market. With this experience, we can achieve sufficient overseas nursing education market result. We are aiming for 100,000 member by next year. We want to expand our market by utilizing our solution to target nursing education teams in large hospital and universities. Our CEO, me, and CRO, CTO, developer, and designers are licensed nurse on our team. We are incorporated in Delaware, USA. I appreciate you are interested in our company. Thank you.
Thanks, DK.
Huge improvement. Very huge improvement. Very nice.
Thank
Good
you.
thing to say with, like very, very huge improvement in compared to even the last time, Tyson. Maybe you might not see it.
Yeah, it's completely different.
Ken, please benchmark him. Is that okay?
No benchmarking.
To the Ken. Benchmark, I mean, inspire from to this is for Ken, right? And also you guys can also pass each other, can help each other, right? So Ken, it's a really good example of a pitch, okay? Used to be complex though.
Yeah, we didn't understand that much DK pitch.
DK, did you put your ask slide? Can you go to the previous slide?
Previous slide.
Yeah, the last, go to your last slide. Last
Last-
slide.
Slide here.
And the previous one, go.
Previous. Okay.
The 13, number
Wait.
13 slide.
He didn't put
Number
the
13 here.
Yeah, please put a ask slide. 한국어, guys.
Okay.
한국어. Alex, can you say that in Korean or Jin?
Oh, I'm muted. I'm sorry. I was talking already. 여기 슬라이드 하나 더 넣으면 좋을 것 같아요. 그 투자 얼마나 받고 싶은지
Yes.
넣으면,
Okay.
좋을 것 같아요.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Ask means like partnerships, blah blah blah, or funding. Or, I mean, together is better, right? Majorly, what is your highest priority? Put it there, because in the crowd you're gonna have people or the videos. The people who receive these videos might be in a healthcare provider industry, can be introduced somewhere, they can procure your service, right? So solution. So I mean, so take a chance. Add a one slide there, right? Please. 오네가이. All right, feedbacks, Alex. Oh, yeah, so Tyson.
How was the time?
Time was perfect. On the second perfect. So what we can do, we can briefly start with the rating if it's fine for you, Tyson, if you're ready. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I am.
Yes, then we will start with the rating, the product offering in 3, 2, 1. Please give your product offer rating.
They probably 2.
2. Okay. And for the next one, okay. For the next one, do I also give a rating? I'll give a 4. Okay, so we go 4, all of us. Wow, okay, this is huge improvement. So skill of presentation, we will rate this in 3, 2, 1.
Sorry, presentation. Yeah.
Okay. And we will rate the completeness of the model in 3, 2, 1.
But I'm not sure if I understand. Could you explain completeness of model?
I think so. As Erdinch described it here, we judge based on how this business can go to $100 million business. So if the model is scalable, I think we should rephrase the rating, because I agree it's a little bit confusing. It's business model, is it like scalability model? So we can rephrase this. But yeah, let's try to rate this in 3, 2, 1.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I see it.
Wow, and DK, this is the best rating you've ever gotten, and that's like
Thank
amazing.
you.
It's so like you have three 5s or 2 5s just now. I think 3 even. We had how much, like 5 4s, I think, and only 1 2. That's incredible, because of me, I'm sorry. But I still think your pitch can be really, really improved. I don't think maybe you remember we had a session together where we talked about making it simpler. And I think you can improve a lot on that. But other than that, I mean, it's really good. And I will say it in Korean later again. Yeah. Okay, cool. Tyson, please go ahead with your feedback if you have any.
So rate for progress with product offering. The reason I gave a 2 is you mentioned, I think, like using AI, kind of like adaptive. For some reason, I still feel you don't speak enough with the customers. So that's why I gave it a 2. So I think just me being cautious, I think you probably need to talk to the customers more to find out. So I think you're on the right track where you're going for the schools first, then you're going to the hospitals. But I think you probably need to talk to the hospitals more.
Hospital.
Yeah. For presentation, I gave a 4, and I was being nice in that if the presentation was in Korean, probably it would be definitely a 4. But I would say still needs practice with the English side, especially if you're going for the US market. I think you'll definitely have to work on English. So that's why I gave a 4 for the slides. I think the slides were very good. It made your pitch. So I gave a presentation a 4, but also you do need to work on your English. And if I think that's the one reason why if I did know someone, it might be hard for me to introduce you. I want to introduce, but if I knew someone, I would want to introduce, but because of the English, so I think that's something you'll need to work on. So I'm giving you a 4 because I think there was a big improvement. And for that reason, for completeness of model, I gave it a 5 because you mentioned how many nurses there were, and you mentioned the lack of nurses. And so I think if you can figure out a way, I think just nursing schools, I don't think it's $100 million idea, but if you find a way for hospitals to use it, I think it could become $100 million company. The area of weakness in the presentation was, I understand the problem. There's not enough nurses. But I think you could communicate better because they are not learning, I think, ERN. Because they don't know ERN, what problem does that create? That's not clear in your presentation. For example, new nurses, new nurses make 25%, 50% mistakes on error recording. Like that's one example. Like how many errors are created in the hospital by new nurses? Another one is for the hospital models, how many errors are created by existing nurses, doctors, when they change the system or there's updates in the system? That could be a potential market for the hospital. When they make the change, how many errors happen? So maybe if they adopt a new system, you work with that company and I'm not sure, or maybe you can provide training. I'm not sure, but that's just an idea. And the other one is, how long does it take a new nurse to learn to use ERN with your system, without your system? Those are some examples. There's more, but for the hospitals, maybe if you can find out the errors, how many errors are created because of lack of training, I think that's a very because it's a hospital, they can't allow that. Especially in the US, if they get a lawsuit, your system is very cheap compared to a lawsuit.
Yeah.
So that's why I think errors might be so that's why I think you need to talk to the hospitals more, because I think where you stated the problem for hospitals and is not so clear. For schools, it's very clear. Finish.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. If there is no other feedback, we can continue with you, Jung. Oh, I see a finger. I see a finger.
Quick one, quick 3 points. Basically, protocol offering. Yonho, just a second. Can you go back? Very quick one. I would also send in chat. Just want to read out loud. Right. The biggest question that I have, which also Tyson also pointed out, is the competition, or it is replicatable or not. In my country, my hometown, Turkey, they have, I mean, the nurses and hospitals all have the ENR service system. Everything extremely digitalized. Even I show to doctors here in Japan, they shock. Wow, they're able to see my entire medical history until born 32 years ago. That's incredible, right? So everything extremely digitalized, but they are built in. So the question here is buy-in or built in. What if these people will build in? So instead of buying your service, it might be cheaper. I mean, they could easily replicate and do. Oh, that's something cool. We should do it together. We should do it internally. So that is the question. Please, like, figure out. And then again, similar to the Tyson point, you don't talk with the American customers, which is this is your target. You wanna. This is based on our discussion. As the most important person of the company, you gotta talk you yourself. Go, and I really highly suggest you to go some exhibitions, conventions, and stuff related to your business and talk.
And if you reach out to me, I'm not sure if he speaks Korean, but I have a friend who is in the US, used to sell software for 2 hospitals, and his parents are Korean.
Oh,
but I think his parents grew up in Japan.
sugoi.
So he might speak or he might understand Korean, but he's born in America.
Please.
And has 3 years experience. So
yeah.
His name is
That's what I'm suggesting, to find somebody like this, like, because if he can put the US like it's now, the reaching out, and after getting the meeting, he cannot speak properly. So the D's are started to be weak way, like the efforts are put in there become weak way. I highly recommend you, Gates, to communicate with the Tyson that he's going to introduce, but also book Jim together, because Jim can help you to translate it when you talk with the Tyson, okay?
And Yuli suggests, I mean, us suggesting actually to find a business development person in your company, so who can be actively do these activities and manage and generate meetings for you, so you can actively talk, even though we go in there. But I would highly suggest you to spend maybe at least a month or 2 months, or maybe 3 months, or maybe move to the United States, because this is what you are targeting, your market. And if you talk with your customers regularly, in person sometimes, take a chance at it. And also you need to, this is also my next point, basically, you need to improve your English, as Tyson said. Basically, you can improve in 3 months incredible level if you just double down. This has become your higher in your priority. So I know it's kind of like a personal development. You don't have a time. I know you don't have a time. Nobody has a time, but you need to really reprioritize it and speed up the English word. Hire for my Japanese, I hire what is that? A coach, book me and force me to study one session per week before. But it didn't work very well because I was busy. But it wasn't a priority for me to learn Japanese. You know what I mean? For you, it's extremely on fire. You gotta do it. You have to do it seriously. I can't stress this enough. And in our next session, here's the exercise that you will do for the pitch. 60 minutes. I book generally. I let you guys the book. 60 minutes. How many? 12 times. You're gonna pitch me, right? Like without stopping it. Just like imagine that you are in the military operation. 5 minutes pitch, repeat. 5 minutes pitch, repeat. 5 minutes pitch, repeat. 1 hour straight until your chin drop. You will pitch. Deal? Challenge accepted? DK, love you. I want you to be successful. All right. You will be successful if you really take our feedback, which is you're already taking feedback. That's why it's improving. That 60 minutes exercise, 12 times rapidly pitching, going to be extremely helpful for you, right? Let's do it in the next office hour, and then finalizing completely the model. I'm not things. I will just highlight what are the things that I'm not sure about it. Basically, I'm not sure about your unit economics, and I'm not sure about how you're going to go after the market smoothly. As you guys can see that there are many challenges based on your stages. At this stage, you have a lot of things. I mean, you talk and work with a lot of Koreans, but not with the Americans. So we're gonna go market. Many things. Let's talk later. Just wanted to highlight. Just okay. Let's go to Yonghwa. This is my
Okay. And
more than 2
DK,
cents.
one last thing about my friend. So his parents are Korean, born in the US. He's fluent in Japanese as well. He has the highest Japanese level, is an American, so it's native English speaker. The only question is the Korean. I hope he understands Korean, but
okay.
if you have that, it's perfect. That will cover.
You can
Please.
make sure book the Tyson, okay, and get introduced.
And I think he might be looking for a job because his the health tech startup that he worked for, I think they got overfunded maybe.
Got it. He's living in the United States. Where he's
And
living?
he lives East Coast, like Boston, I think.
DK, potential, right? Book him. All right. Thank you, Tyson. Thank you. You're amazing. All right, Yonghwa, stage is yours, Yonghwa.
Okay. So the screen is okay.
Not yet. Let's wait a second. Okay, now it's here. And you can start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Hey there, I'm Yonghwa Kim, the CEO of Stra. We are making Lispeak, fun K-pop singing app designed for global K-pop fans. You've probably heard of Squid Game, BTS, Blackpink, right? Korean culture is taking the world by storm, and we are riding that wave. In fact, there are 3 times more fans of Korean fans than Korean themselves. But there's one problem K-pop fans have in common, is that she can't understand or sing along her favorite song because the lyric is Korean. When a new song drops on Spotify, she's searching Romanized lyrics online and replaying the song over and over on YouTube. It's a hassle, right? That's where Lispeak comes in, fun K-pop singing app for global fans. Our K-pop trainers break down the lyrics and show how to sing correctly through video, and users can practice singing using voice recognition like a game. Plus, we've got thousands of Romanized lyrics, so no more endless internet searches. We launched on May, and the response has been amazing. We've got 30K users right now, and our App Store rating is 4.5 based on 300 organic user reviews. Our main users are teenage girls who are crazy about K-pop, mostly from India and the US. They have told us that the app is not only fun, but also helps them learning Korean. Our business model is freemium. First, we will sell video lessons per 99 cents, which is testing this month. And also we'll sell K-pop merchandises because our users love it. In the long term, our AI lyric transcription solution can be used by streaming services like Spotify, and our deep usage data about what song is popular to be seen can be used by entertainment company. For the market adoption, we're doing social media marketing, which our teenagers are crowded, and we've also got a POC opportunity to open pop-up store in the shopping mall at Seattle on September and October. We already sold 1,100 revenue of K-pop albums and also got 1K iPhone US download through this ongoing event. Our unique value in the market is users can learn with their beloved contents, so it feels fun and also helpful. We're in a sweet spot between education and entertainment. In the US alone, there are 20 million K-pop fans. That's a potential market of $67 million. But we are not stopping there. We are planning to expand into Latin pop or J-pop with the same concept. We closed seed round with the app this year and planning get Series A, expanding more languages next year. Our exit plan is first IPO, but also M&A to the entertainment company will be an option too. We are Stra, music tech startup. This is our 5th music-related app. Myself and my co-founder are used to be UX designer at Samsung Electronics, and we've got 3 coding experts also. We are open to discuss about partnerships with local entertainments or institutes. Anyone who are willing to break the language barrier in music together, let us know. Thank you.
Okay, cool. You still have a minute left, actually. So
really?
if you want, next time you can add a little bit more, but generally, I think very, very interesting already. So that's not a big deal. Let's take a quick time to think about the rating. Tyson, if you're ready, give us a big thumbs up and we start
I'll
rating.
use this 1 minute because this is the hardest. This is not
Yeah,
tough one.
yeah. Agree. Let's
Oh.
we give you some time. Let's think about it. By the way, Erdinch, do you feel okay? You must be very exhausted. You don't have to join, by the way, Erdinch. You can also just listen passively.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so 2 of us are going to rate. Let's start with the product offering. We're going to rate the product offering in. Oh, someone else is turning on their video.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
sorry.
we have a third person rating. Ernst, you want to join?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay, let's rate the product offering in 3, 2, 1. Very, very different views, and it's very interesting. Let's continue with the second one. We rate the skills of the presentation in 3, 2, 1.
It's tough.
Ooh, okay, nice. And then the third one is the completeness of the model in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hard one.
The hard one.
Oh,
Tyson,
ooh.
you're really harsh this time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I'm a 3 on everything. That's why
Which-
if I did.
What was the last rating of you, Tyson and Erdinch?
4.
4, and you're 2.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're-
I have a 1. But let me elaborate on that. So
Oh, interesting,
for
yes.
me, the product offering itself is very, very interesting. As I said, I was working in the industry with my last startup, so I know the potential of it, and I know you're tapping into something that has a lot of potential. But the model itself at the moment, I really, really believe is not too scalable. I think we've talked about this over lunch together. So I really believe there has to be some adjustments made. And then for the skill of the presentation, I think it's good, but there's still room for improvement. You can make it more simpler, more to the point, and make the viewer, understand it more instantly, especially in the first 10 to 20 seconds. I felt like you could compress it more and make it more simpler to understand yet. But other than that, very, very good. And the good thing is, for the model, we can work on it, right? The product offering is already so good. I really believe with a few tweaks on the model itself, it can get a full 5-star review for all of the 3 points. Yeah, that's my feedback so far. Maybe Tyson, you want to add some stuff as well?
Thank you.
So, to confirm, I was actually at a 3 for everything. And the reasons I gave 2s, it was because I think it was missing one important point. And I want to make sure I communicate that point. So that's why I gave a 2. If I gave a 4, I think you might not listen to the point. So that's why I gave a 2. So it increases the likelihood of you listening. For the rate, the progress, the product offering. So I think it's good that it is expanding. You're thinking more broadly. But for me, the pricing, the pricing made me think that you need to do more research on the pricing. So if I was an investor, I think you need to get that information a little bit, not a little bit clear, or just mention like maybe you don't mention the pricing, you just mention the year.
Yonho, can you stop sharing the screen? Could you?
Okay.
So that might be one way. But for me, I thought that with the pricing, it showed me that it was what do you say? It was random. You just made it up. It was too random. So maybe in this case, it's better just to say year, maybe. You can ask them rather than the price if you don't know yet. For presentation, the reason I gave it a 2 was I think for the traction, it didn't show month over month growth. And I usually kind of see that as I usually take that as a negative. If they don't show it, I feel they're hiding something. Whereas you saw in DK's case, the month over month. If I was an investor, I was like, oh, that's very interesting. So I liked in DK's case, I gained more trust in DK because it did show his went up, it went down, then it went up. So I felt trust. So I gave a 2 for presentation because the traction wasn't clear. And I think also kind of like just the business model wasn't clear enough. And so and the other reason I gave the 2 is right now investors are more picky. So I think these are really important points to think about. And for rate of completeness, yeah, it's still kind of related. I think there's potential. I want to give it a 3 because I think there is potential, possibly, but I don't see it. I don't see the $100 million based on your presentation. And that's it for me.
Thank you.
Okay, Erdinch, how about you? Anything that you want to share?
Oh yeah. So for the product offering, by the way, I am also playing around. So it's pretty useful. And then, so I mean, okay, how can I do that? All right. Anyway, you guys. Oh, fuck. Sorry.
Oh, you use the app. That is so funny.
Let me. My background is okay. All right. Just a minute. Let me show it.
Checking the
Um,
background.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry for maybe a little bit messed up here.
Oh
So
wow,
this
this is a great background. I love the palm in the background.
Oh
Looks
yeah,
really
this is the map of my town here in Tokyo.
Oh wow.
So you guys, so I learn right now what is Golchige Ori.
I don't even
Good,
know what
good.
that is. What?
It means terrible sum, right? Terrible sum. Golchige Ori. Golchige Ori.
Oh wow.
Golchige Ori. So anyway, that is a really good way of learning language. You see what I mean? So I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
already reflect in your pitch. Bravo. Yeah, and then it's one thing that is very important. If I were an investor, as you know that I wanted to join your first round, right? It was just a little bit complex and as an angel, so it wouldn't possible. Sorry, but in the next one, who knows? Well, I might not be afford. That's the problem. Anyways, so I'm able to use it. I'm able to touch it, use it. You see what I mean? So that is the biggest advantage that you have in the entire core. I mean, some of the others, yes, for sure. Anyway, it's pretty solid, useful, and thing. And again, let's talk business. I'm not super clear about how this is going to make money as $100, $100 million in scale. So that's why we keep talking about the same topic coming in again and again. That's the challenge could be, but it's quite really a strategic challenge that it's a learning challenge that we're gonna figure out together, perhaps. And but there is a huge opportunity in entertainment, in an intersection of entertainment industry and education industry. So I believe after maybe from your next Monday, when you have the enough team capability and stuff, you will be able to make huge partnerships with the giant entertainment giants in your country. And a big celebrities. It could be possible, I believe. I think you're going there and teaching the language, but I know you get a lot of feedback from the schools, and so much message, which they said that it's not represent. I mean, very well to our language and culture. Doesn't matter. At least I'm able to start learning the language. Then I can advance into other things. Maybe you can even advertise this kind of things. You can affiliate that kind of things in your app, for example. So it would be a good starting point, just like a Duolingo. I started wondering Duolingo in Japanese, so then I go to the more advanced solutions. So that's one, and also entertainment solutions. I can also go. Oh, I can discover new brands and new things. So I'm talking about 3 different business models here: the language, the entertainment, maybe the discovery of the new singers and stuff, new songs and stuff. So I can maybe smaller things would want to be even pay to be there, smaller singers and stuff. This was the second business model. And third business model is an affiliate of anything, products, services, which all the things that we talk, which all the things that you're executing. So among the whole entire core, you're the one who's very fast to execute these things. That's why it's super interesting for me. I would love to introduce with a lot of investors to you, like openly saying here, and it's recorded, but love to do that. For other people, again, I would also love to do that, but needs to be get ready. You're in this stage to be able to do that. So I mean, yeah. So yes, I will be also providing as a note in the chat. So that's my 2 cents. Time management. Okay, so that's my thing. I give a little bit less load because you still need to work on it on these, I believe. So that's why. So, but pretty good.
Thank you for it.
You're welcome.
Quickly, in our normal program, founders who get good rates in the beginning, like kind of relax a little bit, and then they bump down, and then they work on the different new things because they need to improvement. And after that, try the new things. Sometimes they drop the things. After that, they figure out the better thing and go up. So this kind of curve we generally see. I really want to take it that because the rate is not decreasing, not like that, because you are changing the way of your pitch and the show with the structure. So you just need the improvement for what you are changing. Never relax. Keep constantly pitching, getting feedback. Is always good. This is our also Founder Institute methodology and belief. That's the only way that you would improve the ongoing either. That's the one thing that I want to add. I
Yeah,
think
thank you so much.
this time, Tai-san is the only person, so he come. We invited for the marketing and growth. We requested him to present both Asia side and then there also a US side, especially he's more the things. So mentor talks, Tai-san, stage is your. Thank you.
I think, well, I think Ken is not here too. So I think maybe I'll just, yeah, I'll come up with something how to match it to listeners. But yeah, Young-ho, I do like your idea a lot as well. So you have a very fun company.
Right. Fun and
You'll be-
educative at the same
you-
time. By the way, Alex, can you make only times and highlight us drop down? Could you please?
Sorry.
Well, how do you call it? Spotlight. Don't spotlight us. I mean,
Just okay,
Remove
sure.
us.
Yep, yeah. Sure, absolutely.
so
Tyson, stage is yours.
sounds good.
Okay, yep, Tyson, please
So-
go ahead.
So my presentation will cover a lot of B2B. And I do mention Japan here, but I'll mention ones that can work for the US as well. And I can think about Young-ho as well. So but just some key points. It's there are many foreign companies, large and small, fail in Japan. Does anyone know any?
Can you say again? Can you repeat again?
What foreign companies have failed in Japan?
I can
Slack?
talk about a lot of ones that failed in Korea, but Japan is not my field.
Maybe Yuri, you know?
Amazon.
Amazon is definitely a winner.
I mean,
Interesting.
Some telecom providers, maybe.
And I'll say Lotte. Lotte is a winner.
Oh,
Kind
yeah.
of a winner. They're not a loser, but
They're everywhere. They're chewing gum. Gummu is everywhere.
yeah. I never mind yet. The
also
brands are
know that why they also went to Amazon Prime in the beginning cannot enter, but making a partnership with the one big brand and they becomes takeoff.
yes.
Microsoft Teams all are they make working with the partnership be conglomerate somehow. Only after doing it they take off.
Yeah,
But
Microsoft the same.
That's a very good point.
Big
Yes.
one. But a small one, I love to hear from Tyson. I have
Wow.
Wow.
Seriously?
Seriously,
Walmart bought the Seiyu, right?
Yes. And they sold it, I think.
Again?
Or
Oh,
they
I see.
gave it up or something.
Yeah.
But the recent failure was Didi and Food Panda. Uber failed and Didi failed because of government.
But actually, I mean, we have the same situation in Korea. I think most of them failed in Korea as well.
Gotcha. There's an alliance.
That's right.
But for the winners, I would put Microsoft in the turnaround. So I think the turnarounds are good ones. But for the winners, Notion, a lot of product-led growth products have succeeded in Japan. Travel space, healthcare. Line is a good Korean example.
Interesting. But then again, a lot of the Western firms that are winners in Japan, I think, failed in Korea. We have
Interesting.
Google, Uber Eats that failed, Stripe failed.
Yeah, because Naver.
Yeah, right.
And for the turnarounds,
Really great.
So even IKEA, which is a success in Japan, failed once, and they succeeded on their second attempt. Microsoft and Salesforce, I would say they are turnarounds, and they've tried to do it themselves, failed, found a good Japanese partner, turned it around. So what I want to communicate to everyone is even the big companies can fail when they enter a new market because they don't understand the market. And so one trick to growth is choosing the right market and knowing how to approach that market. This applies to Japan, Korea, the US. So this is for especially DK. Is trying to learn of what foreign companies have entered the US healthcare market and succeeded. So in terms of, so with that point, it's one of the best growth strategies is having the right product for the right market. For Uber is just too much regulation, but there wasn't so much regulation for Uber Eats. So Uber Eats is a huge success in Japan. For IKEA, I think it's their smaller stores they have some smaller stores that do pretty well in Japan. Coca-Cola, really selling Japanese tea and coffee was the trick for making Coca-Cola a success. For Starbucks, smaller sizes, more seasonal sales. For Disney, making it much cleaner than the US one. And allowing people to bring their own food. People wanted to eat their bentos in Disneyland. And Universal Studios, it's using local characters. In the beginning, they failed because they focused too much on America, America, America. But when they started using Japanese films, it helped out. For advertising, Nike, they tried to do activism in Japan. Like, take your activism back to the US. Like, stop telling us what to do. In P&G, for their diapers brand, they used to, in the US, basically, Big Bird would bring your baby. And they tried to use this Big Bird concept in Japan, which no one got. It was weird for Japan. So even in your ad, this is more for Yongho, it's what may work in Korea may not work in the US in terms of what connects with people. So for these companies, what was their growth? They had to change their business model for a new market, and that led to their growth. More marketing wouldn't do the trick. More sales wouldn't work. They had to adopt their business model, similar to Salesforce and Microsoft as well. So next we'll talk about, this is more for DKs probably, actually it applies to Yongho as well, but lead nurturing. It's especially in B2B. So lead nurturing is people know about you. Let's say people are aware of who you are, but they're not ready to become your customer yet. Or in Yongho's case, maybe they're not ready to pay for lessons. And lead nurturing is the process of maintaining a relationship with a customer where they first hear about you, learn a little bit more about you, right before, let's say, before they buy your product, and even after buying your product. Lead nurturing is the process of how you communicate and maintain a relationship with a customer. And it's very important. And this is something I take to heart, is that marketing and sales are interrelated. They help each other out. And what I mean by that is you can see, can you see my mouse by chance? moving?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, can see it.
Oh, perfect. So for example, the more involved your marketing is, and this is also connected with these as well, but pre-lead is they're not a lead yet. Pre-call is they've contacted you or they've shown interest in what you offer. Post-call is after your first meeting, and pre-action is anything they need to do. Let's say so post-call. Yeah, pre-action is maybe you want them to do something. Like maybe you have like a trial program. Then post is after that. And it shows the relationship between marketing and sales. So a lot of people, they think about marketing as just before the pre-lead or right until you get a lead. Until the person calls, reaches out, that's marketing's job. But actually, there is some sales involvement, and but more importantly, marketing can still be involved even after the sales call. And by working together, you can generate more sales. Where marketing helps sales, it's not a cut line. They overlap with each other. So that's the main point. I think you need to understand that marketing and sales overlap, and they need to work as a team, even in areas where they have to work together. Some companies, they separate them. They're too separate, but they need to work together to move the customer to each stage. Any questions here?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So here are some. So I've described the pre-lead, pre-call, post-call, pre-action, post-action. And actually, so pre-lead, it's getting awareness of people. So where can they hear about you for the first time? LinkedIn is pretty good. Twitter, and I'll give some stats on LinkedIn in the US. GDN is Google Display Network, AdWords, SEO, press releases, doing advertising, in Japan's case, at major stations. So these are ways where people can discover you for the first time. Of course, Instagram for B2C as well. For pre-call and post-call, so let's say the person goes to your website, but they haven't had a call yet. In this case, you want them to sign up for your email newsletter on the website, or you want them to sign up for a seminar, a webinar that you're providing. Other cases is, could be like an industry map, but how you compare with your competitors. But let's say that you've had the call already with the person. One thing that they do in Japan, and I'm pretty sure they might have in the US, is they have executive dinners. They take business executives to $200, $300 dinners. And they can meet. And why would an executive at a large corporation attend that? One is, of course, the free food and free meal. Two is, but more importantly, the bigger one is, they want to meet CEOs of other large corporations, because it's hard for them to meet other people who are at their level. So Salesforce does this a lot in Japan, where they have executive dinners and you can meet other executives. And in that case, it's always good to invite some of your existing customers. So these big executives, they can meet other big executives from their competitors who use your software and can be an ambassador for you. And the marketing team and the marketing and sales team work together to do this type. So like I mentioned, there's some overlap between marketing and sales. They work together in this case. And also before the call, you can send them a case study on your website, just so they can see. In DK's case, first you have a meeting, send them a message of a case study you've done with a different US hospital, or maybe a Korean hospital but in English, or even better, maybe maybe an American company in Korea would be better. You share it when you go to the US market. So these are some examples of lead nurturing. They've discovered you. How do you eventually, I should have had podcasts here too, but how they can learn about your company. And there are some overlap. So for example, I would say podcast can definitely be a pre-lead, but also pre-call, where I can send an episode to a client. Like, I think you should listen to this before we talk about consulting. Hey, and essentially, I think the trick is be remembered and be everywhere long term. In the beginning, you have to choose the right channels, but long term, you have to be everywhere. The more that people see you, the more likely they are to remember you when they need your service. Most people don't need your service. They might want your service, but they don't need your service. So the key is when they need it, they remember to talk to you and they know what you offer. So be at where people are looking for you. And so what is the benefits of doing all these things? Case studies, testimonials, email marketing, webinars, industry papers, executive dinners, seminars, press releases. You'll find that when you get a lead, they will be much more engagement. They're more likely to show up to the meeting with you. In my case, I rarely ever have a cancellation, because they already know me, and a lot of them, as long as it's a match, it's going to be a sale. So they already know, they like, and they trust me. Therefore, you have much higher engagement. They're much less likely to not show up. In my case, if they don't show up, that also affects their reputation. And it can make them look bad. So a lot of people don't cancel. And the people who cancel, they probably don't know enough about me. And when you do lead nurturing, you can establish yourself as an authority on a topic. Much higher chance of closing the deal, much higher likelihood of that person introducing their friend. Even if they don't become your client, they could introduce you as a friend. And your sales cycle becomes much shorter by investing in the nurturing phases here. Lead qualification. Ooh, this might be a bit tough to explain, but lead qualification is making sure that the person is a qualified lead. They call it marketing. There's two types of lead qualification, which is you receive a lead, then you have a marketing qualified lead, which is a lead that has been vetted and qualified by the marketing team. In my case, a marketing qualified lead is someone that describes their problem clearly and what solution they're looking for in their email to me. if a person says something like, I need help growing my business, then I don't consider them a qualified lead yet. Or and also it's one example of a marketing qualified lead is when they fill out your contact form, they can put in their number of employees. So if you're doing an enterprise software and they only have 10 employees, this is not a qualified lead from the marketing side. And so that's what using your contact form. There are more complicated ways, but the simplest way for you, I think, is through your contact form, you can see if the lead is qualified or not for your service. For sales, it's sales is a little bit more yeah, I think you guys might not be ready for sales qualified leads, but one example of a sales qualified lead is that they have to be introduced by another client. Other examples are this person, they've been qualified by marketing, and meaning they meet the minimum requirements, but let's say you sent them a case study and they didn't check the case study, or they didn't read the whole case study. And from the sales end, that's a sign that maybe this person's not qualified yet, meaning that the client has read something that you've sent them and they still want to have the meeting. So for example, I send them a pamphlet, it has my pricing, and they still want to have the meeting. I would consider that a sales qualified lead. And so that's your way of ensuring that the person is much more likely that they can be your customer. And here's so in some companies, I don't think you need a score yet as a startup, but these are some things to consider when evaluating the quality of a lead. So in this case, Firmographics is company size, number of employees. So I mean, DK's case, number of employees is a very important, or number of students is a very important factor. Other cases is decision cycle. So what I mean by that is the person who reaches out to you, maybe if they're not a decision maker, it's not a good lead for you. So in my case, some examples is someone would reach out to me, an employee. I said, your CEO has to reach out to me. I will only have a meeting with the CEO. So that's an example of lead fit. Lead interest. This is more complicated. You need high-tech marketing software for this, but it's based on their actions on the website. You can track how interested they are. For example, how many case studies have they read on your website? How many emails have they clicked? What pages on your website have they been to? Have they attended your, did they, I think that'll be more of the behavior, but it's for lead interest, are they doing actions that show signs that they are interested in your product? In Jinho's case, it might be lead interest is maybe number of songs they've listened to. But for lead behavior, that's you can get a bit bigger picture. What I mean by that, there's more of the B2B, but did they attend the webinar? Did they download the white paper? In Jinho's case, I think it could be more like how many, let's say, for people who pay for your lessons, what are the average number of songs that they sing to? Knowing that number, and your goal for developing your UI product is to lower that number. How can we decrease the number of songs they listen to before they make a purchase? I think that's part of kind of your scoring system as well. And also how you should guide your UI. How can I reduce the number of actions they need to take, or let's say the number of songs they sing and listen to become a paying customer? Okay, and buying stage, it's based on their action. You can kind of guess the buying stage. So for example, someone who just signs up to your email list and just receive email versus someone who's requested your sales pamphlet versus someone who asks for a sales call. You can evaluate how good the quality lead is based on where they're at. No, I don't think you guys need this, but for DK and for DK's case, avoid having any Korean at all on your sales pamphlet or English website. Like none is the best amount. For Youngho's case as well, I don't think this is something you already get already. I think yours is pretty much all English, so that's not an issue. Or you could use a little bit of Korean, but DK, no Korean. I think these won't apply to you guys, so I won't send that. But I'll give one example. For Japan, if you want a sales deck or like kind of like see a deck of Japanese design style, Speaker Deck is the website you can go to. DK or Jinho, what would be the US version of Speaker Deck? Speaker Deck is just Japan. The US case is SlideShare. So you could just say it's like a K-pop presentation, SlideShare. The quality on Speaker Deck is much higher than SlideShare, but you can see there are some sales decks as well. Introduction to K-pop, evolution of K-pop. There's a lot of ads, unfortunately. But if you pay for it, you can see it. So you can find a lot of presentations that people have created using SlideShare for the US. And you could just copy elements of it. K-pop business in the US. SlideShare. I don't think this will pop up, but maybe not. And these ones are a bit old. Cool. But yeah, SlideShare can work for that for the US. This might be DK's case, it might be too late, but I know an American guy who created a beverage company in Japan, and it's hilarious. It's what he did. I don't think you have, I'm not sure if you have this in Korea. I don't think you do, but in Japan, year system in Japan. So in Japan's case, based on the emperor, they have a era. So for example, let me find the more recent ones. Yeah, so like from 1989 to 2019 is the Heisei era. 2019 to currently is Reiwa. But a lot of these names, they're very traditional Japanese and old. They sound very old. And one of my acquaintances, he named his health beverage, he named it Reiwa Pharmaceuticals. And his company actually started in 2020. But in Japan, it sounded like it was created in like 1900s. or 1800s. So although he has no credibility, he chose a company name that gave him credibility in Japan because it sounded like it existed for 100 years. So I thought that was very hilarious. So it gave him more attention than he would have normally have gotten. So I think that's a nice growth hack. Or LinkedIn. So in Japan's case, it's just 2.3% of the population, 62% in the USA. That's how many. LinkedIn is huge in the US. For things in your end, I think for DK's case, or even Youngho, you can find Koreans who are based in the US through LinkedIn. So it's really good for hiring bilingual staff. Also, I think you can reach out to them directly. So I think it would be very good for hiring. And also maybe maybe finding potential business partners. For selling to corporations, it may help a little bit, but it's okay. It's an okay strategy. Okay. And I'm not sure about the age range in the US, but I think it's more widespread than Japan. And yeah, these are more US related, but in both of your cases, I think you can get some pretty solid. In Japan, you can't get more than 300 to 500 engagements per post, but in the US, you can get 10,000. You could get 100,000 people see your post, several 100,000. So there's a lot of opportunities for a lot of people to see. K-pop would be a bit harder, to be honest, but definitely in DK's case. But my one advice is, if you're going to use LinkedIn, don't start by just posting things. The trick is you have to you need to make a list of people you want to be connected with. You like their post for 2 weeks to you like their post for maybe a month, then you reach out to them. If they're not posting, they're probably not going to take your message. And so I think it's good to reach out to people who actually post on LinkedIn, because you know they're active. Otherwise, you might be wasting your time researching them. So usually how I start is, if I just is this person active? If they are, then I engage with their posts. Or then I research a little bit about them. And if they match my target, then I engage with their posts. Or I don't, but my assistant will be doing that on my behalf. Or B2C, yeah, I think this one, it's more for Japan, but I guess Youngho, if you ever do the Japan, they're not as experienced as dealing with influencers are not experienced with dealing with sponsors. So sometimes it's a little bit hard to reach influencers. But on the other hand, it's probably cheaper. You can get influencers for a cheaper price in Japan. For Youngho, for Facebook and Instagram, I think impressions are 30 to 50% cheaper in Japan. So if you have a formula that works in the US, you might need a little bit of help, but yeah, I think you can get some success. And Facebook groups doesn't work for Japan, but I think Facebook groups could work for the US Youngho. And in Youngho's case, we found a lot of Korean groups, or Korean K-pop or Korean culture university groups on Facebook. So I think community is good for Facebook. Also in the US, I would consider, for Youngho's case, I would consider looking if there's Discord groups for K-pop, or maybe Telegram, but maybe. TikTok, great for Japan, great for the US. In Japan, line marketing can also work. There's unique types of ads. So if Youngho goes to Japan, I think line is worth considering as well. These ones don't apply for B2B. Let me think of what is a match for you. So I'll start off at the bottom. So for 8 and Yenta are Japan alternatives to LinkedIn. For the USA, I would say LinkedIn. And also for the US, what would be yeah, pretty much US is LinkedIn for business and Twitter as well for the US, but that's more for the tech community. DK's case, there might be some people for DK, I would consider LinkedIn and Twitter. For Youngho, I think you already know what channels in the US. Definitely TikTok and Instagram. Facebook for groups and communities. LinkedIn is maybe more for B2B or partnerships. But with LinkedIn Youngho, I think you need to have the B2C side set up. Like, let's say your Instagram numbers are good, your TikTok followers are there, and you got users, then LinkedIn would be pretty good for B2B partnerships. But yeah, but I would recommend the community model and the groups there for now. For B2B, I think definitely for DK, you're gonna have to do webinars in the US. No doubt about it. For Youngho's case, you could do interviews with people who are like, let's say, people who've learned Korean through singing.
That's a pretty interesting idea.
And so
Yeah.
the best ones for Youngho's case is people who have learned Korean or they've increased the level based on using your software, and they give a lecture of how they did it. Because they know better than you how to use your software and how to combine it with other methods as well. And that's how you'll find your future partners, as well as like, oh, I use I use Livespeak and I use maybe let's say Duolingo, but maybe another one might be like Blue or something. Then you could go to Blue and say like, oh, why don't we you do a blast, we'll pay you for that. Or we'll promote your software to our audience and we'll promote to your audience. So that's what I'm doing now. In 2024, I'm going to try to get on some more Asian podcasts possibly and tell them I have 2,000, 3,000 email subscribers. Get me on your podcast and I'll get you more listeners. And so using trading. So get one audience in one vertical, then use that to get into other channels. But I think you need to be great at one area.
It's what you're seeing currently sounds like the collaborations, strategic partnership, right?
Yes, but
like
to do strategic partnerships, you either need to be successful as a business or you need to be successful in one marketing channel.
Your
'Cause you
offer is pretty interesting for them, has to be. In your case, that this trading example really grabbed my attention. Very interesting case. Great offer and good ask, fair ask. So
yes, I'm better than other potential podcast guests that you'll have is because I'll bring you more listeners. They're more famous, or what's I mean? They're more successful. I have a bigger audience. Which do you want? And person with bigger audience can beat person who's more successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Youngho's case, I think wait, never mind. Yeah, you gotta leverage PR better, I think. You need to get featured in more blogs for like like K-pop blogs, or even like K-pop. Like I think the amount, based on what you've told me, I think you guys are not doing great at getting PR, even though you have something that's really, really interesting. You've gotten some, but nothing major yet.
You mean as FI or to other people?
No, not just to like influencers. I think based on how cool Live Speak is, I think the amount of PR you gotten is pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about starting that influence right now.
So yeah, I think that's PR is an angle that's lacking at the moment for your growth strategy. For DK, yeah, you're definitely gonna have to do some events. You're definitely gonna have to go to trade shows. You must go to trade shows, DK, in the US.
Yes.
Like I just, even with my
Um,
clients now, I just tell them go to a trade show.
Yeah, I want to add here, especially for the medical business, this is really where the connections happen. It's pretty funny, but in my experience, the medical sector in like a startup fair is always like the most open to kind of talk and try to collaborate because they're very desperate for it. Because I think for them it's the hardest to get connected with other peer startups or partners. So this is a really, really, really good way to connect with others and also sell it actually.
You can open a booth in these kind of conventions also.
For DK, what the angle I would go with the US is, I'm making this up, so I don't know if this is true. I would say that in Korea we have less issues in the hospitals, less loss, or let's say less errors. If you could say that, that might give you a good angle. We have much less errors in Korea than the US. Therefore, Korean hospitals are better than US hospitals in terms of maybe not treatment for rare diseases, but general treatment, it might be better, possibly. So that might give you an advantage. I think the main points is use Kostra as much as you can. Use KISED as much as you can. DK's case, you need to go to the trade show, and so you can meet potential people who can sell your software on your behalf. So maybe you could sell it yourself, or maybe someone can sell it for you. But you need to go to the trade shows to meet these people. This is more for B2B, but utilize some cities want to attract startups. So I'm pretty sure there's in the US, and use those cities, use their program. In Japan, I work personally with Aichi, Nagoya, and I think their program, it's really hard for a private company to match what they can do with their level of connections. So use the startup cities connections for this. They will open doors that you cannot open yourself.
Yeah. By the way, web portals, Dejima, you really remember?
Dejima, my co-founder, created it.
Really?
Yes.
Is this the Dejima that Yuri that we used to use
It
a lot?
is. It's probably the Dejima and Offshore Kaihatsu.
Yes.
It was created by my co-founder.
The same one. They
Yes.
also have a kind of co-working space in Tokyo, right?
They have a co-working space. They have the largest, let's say, going out of Japan expos in Japan.
Yeah, we got leads from there. Quite used to be
that
not
is-
don't use anymore. I don't know why. We don't need it, I guess.
Yeah, maybe you don't need it now, but that is my co-founder.
Wow.
So yes.
Yeah.
So yes, now you know why people know him, but everyone knows him, but not me. But now people know me, so it's
Yet,
okay.
not yeah.
or
Yet,
or
to be
people
changed.
know me now, so it's okay. But 2 years ago, no one really knew who I was 2 years ago, but did a lot of marketing to change that. Also, DK's case, probably becoming a thought leader. For Young Ho's case, it's you need to utilize thought leaders. But eventually, Young Ho, you will become a thought leader on how to sell Korean products in the US. That in the future, you'll be a thought leader there. This is more in DK's case. This is more for Japan, but in Japan, like the elderly care industry has magazines. Maybe the US has one, where maybe you could get into the elderly care homes as well with your software. So I think that's one angle you haven't considered. Yeah, these ones aren't related for you guys, unfortunately. For US, I think it's TechCrunch, Engadget, Hacker News. And you would have to ask, I have a big list of the US ones. You would have to ask me in our session for US. I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, these probably won't. This is too Japan based. And just for you guys, I think this will apply for B2B, B2C, but you should think of your this is the technology adoption curve. And I think I'll go with this first. 80% of people. So it's you, both of you are still here, I think in the, or I think kind of, or in Young Ho's case, you're still in the visionary section. In DK's case, maybe you might be here in Korea. Maybe you might be here in Korea, but in the US, you're going to be here. So you have to start all over again. You just made this jump in Korea. I think you might be around here. Now you're back to 0 in the US. And 80% of the market is here. Maybe 85%. In Japan's case, probably 90% of the market's here, 95%. Maybe Korea's the same too. But so the point is, really in the beginning, it's tech enthusiasts and visionaries. It's in Young Ho's case, I want to be the first to try LifeSpeak. I want to show my friends because this is helpful. But the area we're kind of struggling is, how do you get, like, why should I use LifeSpeak? So it's the types who are like, I want to try this, or I want to show people cool things. So in your case, Young-Ho, you still might actually only be at the enthusiasts because you haven't gotten PR from influencers. So you actually might still be stuck in the enthusiast phase. And you haven't found a way to break into the visionary or the influencer phase yet. Young-Ho's case, I think in Korea, you're kind of there, like, why should I start using this technology? But you haven't broken into what I should have done this earlier. So that's where a DK is at. Probably.
I am in here. Why should I have not tried this earlier? I feel regret, literally.
They don't.
Personally.
So I think for Open4, I think you guys are still in the pragmatists.
I know. I was talking about LeetSpeak.
Gotcha. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that. So now it's become an addiction.
Ah, gotcha.
Pretty good.
But it's not properly communicated. So
Yeah.
like that's why. And so that's kind of the technology curve. I think you've all heard about it, but I wanted to give you 3 examples of the enthusiasts, visionaries, pragmatists. I'll give a Japan case. I think this might help actually. For the Japan case, it's for the innovators. It's so in this case, it's sorry. Yeah, it's I would say the Japan curve, it's kind of similar, but it's the Japan case, the innovators, it's only startups. That's pretty much your only choice. And you have to get to them through product-led growth, which none of you guys. All right, Youngho, yours would be product-led growth. But I think you need to study a bit more on product-led growth because you're not achieving the virality that you would like to see. So I think you need to study more about product-led growth for Youngho. DK, yours is definitely not product-led growth. So you need to do direct sales. Then this is more of the Japan case, but you have to sell to startups. You have to sell to enterprises. The problem with enterprises, though, is the user doesn't have decision-making authority. They can't purchase it. And so the person that reaches out to you may not make the decision. That's why you need direct sales to help the person who likes your product sell your service to their company internally. In Japan's case, the early majority, it's partnerships. You can do some, of course, you're going to do direct sales, but in Japan, only through partnerships you can get nationwide. Probably in the US, it's not as important, but it still is. I think even Zoom, like 20% of their US sales is through partnerships. So in Japan, partnerships, probably Korea too. I would say Japan and Korea, probably partnerships are critical. You guys can come from Korea, but in the US, I would say it's marketing and direct sales and partnerships. Cool. So I think that's kind of the main points.
For us as a startup, getting started here in Japan, we didn't start in Japan, was only through partnerships, like 100%. I don't think that as a startup, we were able to do something. We couldn't do what we want to do, what we were targeting either. And COVID, but I blame the COVID for sure. It's extremely spectacle market. I mean, Japan is like entire chart is a spectacle, including the innovators, tech enthusiasts. Tyson, and maybe it's about our business. I don't know, because we're a startup, maybe,
Yeah, I
or
think
we are foreigners, maybe.
I think your growth hack of running. I got to that. I think your guys' case. I think doing Founder Institute in Japan was a genius move. It was a great growth hack. That probably won't manifest yet, but in 2 years, you'll definitely start to see it reap more rewards. I think as you get bigger and bigger. But the challenge you guys have right now, there's a lot of other let's say accelerators popping up, but you guys do still have a lead.
Yeah,
But I think it's a great way to promote open.
exactly. It works. It's a growth hack actually for us. Yeah, it's a really.
So that was a good growth hack.
That's right. I think you're lacking. Your internet has a problem.
So yeah, so I think that's pretty much for my
Tae-san,
Tyson,
I think he already wrapped up.
are you?
Tae-san, are you there?
Oh, connection not so good.
I
Or-
think he's trying to use microwave again.
Yeah, for for managing. You have
It's
to
too
still
funny.
come to lunch like that and then open the microwave. I mean,
It's gonna be big lunch though. Like how many times the microwave was used
Whoa.
already until now?
he just drove. I very
That's
strong
so
microwave. $1,000 microwave. That's why maybe she bought it.
Oh,
Really?
wow, gee, that's wow. But what kind of microwave is that for $1,000? Think about it.
It's
It's
a
crazy.
stove oven at the same time. I guess we have the similar one. It's an oven at the same time.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Microwave and oven could be. I don't know.
I also
I
have like a
see.
similar thing, but like for $40, not 1,000.
Yeah. I
Hello, Tae-san.
good one.
Interesting.
I guess.
You're
Yeah.
back.
I think I got microwaved.
Yeah.
I should
Too
write a
funny.
review. I should write a review. If you buy
Yes,
this microwave oven, you should get line connection. But actually, I need to do that to my to-do list.
Tae-san, if
Yeah.
they don't have more questions, shall we wrap up?
That would be awesome.
Yoho DK, do you have any further questions through the things? I think it was really great that Tae-san even give it like a kind of some examples that pick it up that will be
Yeah.
serious for you.
Yeah.
And he
Oh.
customized throughout his presentation.
Thank-
That's really good. Thank you so much, Tyson.
Thank you for
Thank you,
the
Tyson.
presentation. I
Thanks a
have
lot, Tyson,
one
really.
question. So, if I want to go into the Japan market, my product and my website and anything should not have English. Is it correct?
Yeah, it needs to be completely in Japanese.
Mm,
Like
because
everything.
I'm considering when I go into the Japan market, I will convert lyrics into hiragana, but there will be romanji also, like
No,
alphabet also.
needs to be or yeah, I mean if it's 'cause I know in Korean songs they have parts of the songs are in English.
Mhm.
That one you could I would actually translate that to Japanese as well. Or I mean I would have the English when they use an English word, but
Mhm.
just have the hiragana above that or katakana actually.
Okay.
He would just translate it to the Japanese version very recently. He is also a product-led market group. Also, I think it asks his experience that he just did. I didn't release it. How is the goal? I think a founder exchanging the information
Mhm.
also would be great too.
Yeah, I think
Thank you.
I think yeah, it is definitely product led. And I think yeah, I think I would really just focus on the US. But when you start hearing people in like Japan, like Korea Booze in Japan start using your software,
Mhm.
that's I think that's a good sign.
Okay.
DK, do
So
you
that's-
have any question?
No, I have question.
And book with the Jin together to Tae-san, okay? Make sure to do it.
Thank you, Tyson.
But yeah, it's my pleasure. And for Youngho, yeah, I would just focus on the US, really smash the US first, then focus on Japan. I can't guarantee, but my Korean, one of my very good friends who is Korean, he doesn't speak English, so you'd have to talk to him in Korean. But he works at the biggest Korean language school in Japan. They have more than 10,000 students, maybe 15,000, 20,000.
Oh, that's good.
My
It's a good
co-founder,
time.
my ex-co-founder, created it and sold out.
Mm.
So my ex-co-founder created the biggest Korean language school in Japan. Right
Maybe
now,
this
he-
is a good, maybe this
he
is a
has-
good moment to
Yeah.
to connect Youngo
Yeah.
with some of the guys that are still working there. I think that would be very, very valuable for you, Youngo.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Sure, sure.
I'm not sure if my friend has been there for so my co-founder is not there anymore. He sold out his shares. But my friend, he might not be there in 2 years, so hopefully he can reach out to me by next year. You never
Okay.
know.
Okay.
But my co-founder, he is now very happy. He has like he runs a 2-person sushi shop.
Super.
So he went from managing hundreds of employees to he just has a sushi chef and he just serves the customers and he's super happy at a high-end sushi restaurant.
Wow.
Oh, that's
funny.
interesting. Maybe he's enjoying like a lifestyle business.
Oh yeah, he actually
Okay.
has like if you really work out a lot, you can have a demon shape in the back of your
Connection. I think the microwave is cooking again.
back for muscles.
Tyson, the microwave.
That's it for me.
I said, I think your wife is making an operation. Come to the lunch. She's giving a message.
My baby is hungry.
The message. Yeah.
Have to leave.
I think so. It's like, come, keep starting the microwave.
Yeah, it was a great session. Thank you so much, everyone.
Sam.
Tyson, that
Thank you.
you're amazing always. And thanks everyone, and see you around. Okay, and
Thank you. Take
Bye.
care.
our